Hello Musketeers and welcome to Mondays with Mickey. My name is Mike Knigge and I am your host, and this is the week of February 15th, 2016. Happy Valentine's Day everyone. I know it's technically a day late, but hey, this show is on Mondays, not Sundays, so what can I do? Hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. Hope your loved ones got everything they wanted from their significant others. And I just hope it was a great day all around for everyone. So I know I got to spend the day with my wife, and that's a rare occurrence these days, so definitely a decent Valentine's Day for me. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to finish up Epcot, our trip from back in September of 2015. Before I get into that, here's a video. Take a look, and we'll be right back. Alright, well, welcome back. I hope you liked the video and the pictures. Just a quick review, if you will, of Epcot. It's the stuff that I hadn't shown you guys yet. You have now officially seen every single picture and every single video, well, with the exception of some of our test track videos. Pretty much all of our pictures and videos from our trip back in September of 2015. This has been a long, long run. Even I've been kind of going like, alright, I think I might be choking these guys with this trip. But that marks the end of our trip and kind of the start of a new era for Mondays with Mickey. I'll talk more about that later. Let me just go ahead and give you my overall feelings for Epcot. Epcot has become one of my favorite parks. Okay, I know I was talking about possibly doing the top 5 experiences and bottom 5 experiences. I really don't have much I can say. My bottom experiences in general would be the fact that the innovation sections tend to be closed all the time, or they're locked up to the Visa card members. I know they're trying to do exclusive stuff for them, but I'd love to see more coming out of Future World. I think that would be my biggest negative. I'm not a big Michael Jackson fan personally. I know that's probably heartbreaking to some people. So, losing Captain EO really didn't hurt my feelings. I knew it was going away when we went, and it didn't motivate me to go see it. So, Epcot for me is just a lot of fun. I'd say my bottom things for Epcot, again, would have been the lack of experiences in the intervention section, which they've opened up a little bit with the colors thing. My next bottom experience would be the fact that Living with the Land was closed. That's something I've actually never done, and I was really looking forward to. And then the only other negative I would have, and it's not even really a negative, would be some of the disappointments in the dining. Now, that's a weird thing that could be coming out of my mouth, because Epcot probably has some of the best dining at Walt Disney World. But because of that, I hold Epcot to a high standard when it comes to the food. I usually go into these restaurants expecting the best. So when I say that I'm disappointed in the food, please understand that the food is amazing. All the food at Epcot is really good. But, I go in with that high standard. So my disappointment might be amazing for most people. I'm being overly picky. And like I said, I'm having to be picky with Epcot because I love Epcot, and there's really not a lot that I don't like about Epcot. So those would be my bottom 3. I'm going to say my top 3. I'll start with number 3 would definitely be Soarin'. I absolutely love Soarin'. It's one of my favorite attractions. World Showcase in general is probably my number 2. It's close to number 2 or number 1. I love World Showcase in general. I love the concept of having all these countries represented, not only just by flags or by pavilions, but by the actual nationals, the people who live in those countries, the people who've lived there and know the countries they're coming from, and having the experience of talking with them and learning about their countries and their way of life. World Showcase for me, like I said, it bounces back between 1 and 2. The other one, which also bounces between 1 and 2, comes from World Showcase. It's their closing show, and that would be the Illuminations light show they do at night. Now, I like this because it ties in to the World Showcase concept. First time I saw Illuminations was back during the Millennium Celebration, when the world was going into kind of the unknown, and we were looking at the future. And the Illuminations is a brave look at the future and the future of our world together. All of our countries, not separate by borders and all this, but we're all one people. We're all from this planet. And I think it gives a very optimistic view of what we could be if we just take the time to, believe in each other and work with each other. So it's very inspiring. It's probably the word I was really looking for. It's very inspiring. And so is the World Showcase. It kind of falls into that same category. I know I originally said top 5, bottom 5, but I really can't come up with enough bottom 5s to make it fair. So, World Showcase, Illuminations, to me, are very, very inspiring things from Walt Disney World. And with Epcot, hosting that, and of course the Future World, showing technology and showing things that could be or things that are coming. Epcot for me is very, very inspiring park. It's very, I keep saying inspiring because I'm trying to find a better word for it. It's something that helps motivate me to better my life and better my world. I am a huge fan of Star Trek. Completely off of left field, I know. Well, it's not really left field if you think about J.J. Abrams doing Star Wars and Star Trek. Anyway, I digress. I'm a huge fan of Star Trek. I grew up watching Star Trek, and Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future, his outlook of what would happen if we as a world came together with common purpose to make our lives better and to explore and expand our knowledge and expand our boundaries and just expand humanity. And I loved it. I never understood it at a younger age as to what about Star Trek got me in, really into it. I always thought it was the ship battles and things like that. But the reality is, it was the fact that Gene Roddenberry, through his vision of the future, inspired me. And I feel that same inspiration when I go to Epcot and I see, Disney's vision of the future. Now, this all began with Walt. Walt's original vision for the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. He had that same vision. The same vision that Gene Roddenberry had. To look for a better world. A world in which we all work together. And Epcot, although it didn't take the final form that Walt truly envisioned, I think the spirit is alive and well at Epcot. And for those who talk about Epcot saying, "Oh, it's not worth it. It's more like schoolwork," please give Epcot a shot. I mean, it's really a 2-day park in my mind, but at least give it 1 day and experience it. I think you'll find, like I did after the first time I went to Epcot, because I thought the same thing about Epcot before I went. I think you'll find that there is something truly magical and inspirational at Epcot. So that's where I'm going to leave Epcot. I think we've talked enough about my Disney trip. I've flaunted it enough. So let me get to some nitty-gritty things coming up. Alright. I will not be back next week. Mondays with Mickey will be taking a week off. Possibly 2. I'm going to be honest. It's possibly 2. If it is 2, I'll post something. It might not be a regular video, but I'll post something. But we're taking at least a week off because I have surgery in my near future. In fact, 1 week from today, 1 week from when you're watching, I will be in a chair under sedation being hacked to pieces. So I'm not really looking forward to it. And although I could theoretically pre-record it right before that, I'm going to have so much on my plate getting ready for the surgery and also working a lot because the way I had to work my days off. I'm just not going to be able to put out an episode. So next week, I definitely won't be around, possibly the week after. My next episode, I am going to discuss all the changes coming to Mondays with Mickey. I am going to be changing the format of how I do the show. The way the style of the show is. It's still going to be all about Disney for the most part. Disney is going to be a huge part of the show. It's never going to go away because that's the nitty gritty of Mondays with Mickey. It's all about Disney. So I'm going to talk more about that, and that will be on my next show. So that's coming up. So thank you guys for watching and listening to me ramble a little bit. I know this is not a long episode, but I did want to at least finish up Epcot and get started with the future for Mondays with Mickey. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, Walt said it best. I hope you never lose sight of one thing. This was all started by a mouse. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys in probably 2 weeks. Bye.